Hello, College 100 students. I wanted to take a couple of minutes to talk to you about an assignment you have due this week, which is the APA Title and Reference Page assignment. This is not an assignment that's worth a great number of points, but it is an assignment that is worth a great deal to you in terms of practice and preparation and help that it will give you on future assignments, not only for your final essay in this class, but for other writing assignments that you will have in other classes. So I thought it would be helpful if I did a little video explanation for you. Now you can see on the screen that I'm looking at the assignment description. None of the information that I'm about to give you is new or different from what you will see when you read this description and these directions, but it is something that sometimes I think might be helpful if I kind of walk you through it, exactly how to do it and get the most success on your assignment. So as you read through the description and the directions, you will see that actually you have been provided with this final paper template. And if you use this final paper template, that is first of all the biggest thing that you can do to experience success on this assignment. So you can go ahead and click on the link to open the final paper template. And when it downloads to your computer and you're able to open it in Microsoft Word, you will see everything that you need to be successful on this assignment. So my computer is taking just a couple of moments here to open the document for us. All right, so the final paper template is already set up with everything that you need to be able to do your assignment correctly. So when you are working on your title page, you do not want to actually delete any of the information that is here, but instead you want to type over it with the specifics for your paper. So you will go ahead and type over this your own paper title, as well as what your name is. You will include the class name, our university name, instructor name, all of that information. You just go ahead and type over this template with what your specific information is. Then you also want to come up here to this running head. And when you double click on the running head, you're able to actually go in and modify your running head, which you will want to do. And you will want to have this be a short version of the title of your paper. It needs to be 50 characters or less. So if your title already is 50 characters or less, you can go ahead and put the whole title in. If it isn't, just shorten it and make sure it's 50 characters or less. And then you may have to add a few tabs to get your page number back in the correct location on the page to move it all the way over to the upper right corner. But now you have replaced the header with your information. You notice that I am not deleting these words running head. These words running head are actually supposed to be there on the title page of an APA formatted paper. So when I close the header and footer, now all of my header and footer information is correct. There is actually no footer in an APA formatted paper. And notice on the second page of the paper, it has not kept that information. And the reason that it has done this is because you will see that those words running head did not appear on the next page of the paper. That's because it should only be on the title page. So to fix this, I can go ahead and do the same thing by double clicking in there. And I'm going to go ahead and retype my paper title. And of course, you're going to use the actual title instead of my paper title. You'll put what your title really is. So if it's learning styles or the role the environment plays on learning, whatever your title is, you'll put that in there. And another thing to notice is I did put it in all caps, both on the first page and on this next page. And that is an APA thing that you'll want to be sure to do, is put it in all caps. Then when you close the header and footer button, you now see, if you scroll down to the title page, it has kept the header. So you're now all set with that. So that's how you create the title page, which is the first part of this assignment. The other part of this assignment then is to create a reference page. And you will put your reference page in right here. And notice that this is using a hanging indent style, and that is the style that you will want to maintain when you do your reference page. And also, you're going to want to enter at least 3 references. So you'll want to be sure that you have 3 reference entries on this page, and that they all keep this running, this hanging indent style. Now you will list your references in alphabetical order by the first word of the reference, which as you review the APA formatting guidelines is usually going to be the author's last name. So if you were using references with Smith and Doe and Young as the last names, you would put the reference by Doe first, then the reference by Smith, and then the reference by Young. So always list them in alphabetical order by the first word. And make sure that you pay careful attention to the APA formatting guidelines for your reference page entries that are located in your lesson. One very common error that I do see has to do with capitalization of the titles of articles and of books on the APA formatted reference page. APA has some different capitalization guidelines than what we're used to. We typically will capitalize all of the major words in a title. But on your APA formatted reference page, when you are working with titles of articles or books, there are some different capitalization rules. You'll capitalize only the first word of the title, only the first word of a subtitle, and a subtitle is some secondary title information that usually comes after a colon in scholarly works. And then if there are any proper nouns, such as the name of a person or a place, those will be capitalized. But those are the only words that are capitalized. So that is something different. So for example, let's say that I am going to enter a reference, again by Doe, and we'll say that this is John David Doe. Notice that I'm using just the initials. That is because that is what the APA guideline is to use only first and middle initials. Then in parentheses, I will put my date. If the source that I'm using doesn't have a date, I can type in ND, just like this, which stands for not dated. And then let's say that I have an article or a book called Study Habits in Rural America, How to Achieve Success. This is my book title. Notice now that I've followed those capitalization guidelines. The first word of my title is capitalized. The first word of my subtitle is capitalized. And my proper noun is capitalized. A book title would also then be in italics. And then we'll enter our publishing information. My fingers are not cooperating with my typing today. But now I have all of my information for a particular book that I maybe have used. Now this is not a real source. I just made this up. You're not actually going to be able to find this book to help you with your paper, but I just wanted to give you some example of how this will look on your reference page. So you'll continue this with at least 2 more references, so you have a total of 3 references, and then you will have a successful reference page to turn in for review. Make sure when you're ready to save your work that you follow the naming conventions that are given for you in your assignment description, and I look forward to seeing your work.